last Georgia Republican convention, they gave me an opportunity to speak, which I am always thrilled to do. Except there's one big difference between the last time I spoke to this distinguished group and this time. The last time, I wasn't thinking about running for president of the United States. It had crossed my mind. But as you know, a lot has happened in this country. And as you know, this country is on the wrong track, but we have an opportunity to put it back on the right track. The founding fathers got it right. They got it right when they said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator. You notice I didn't leave that out. Never will. Endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The founding fathers got it right. And if we keep reading, we'll find out that they got it right some more when they said, when any form of government becomes destructive of those ideals, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish them. We've got some altering and abolishing to do. Alter and abolish. Because the American dream is under attack, the pursuit of happiness is under attack, so we do have to do some altering and abolishing. The American dream is being attacked by runaway debt. It is being attacked by a stagnant economy that is growing way below its potential. It is being attacked by an administration that chooses to force legislation down our throats against the will of the American people. We will alter and abolish those kinds of actions. You're well familiar with the problems. You read about them, you hear about them every day. And like you just get frustrated when you don't hear solutions. You and I know that we have become a nation of crises. We have a moral crisis. We have an economic crisis. We have an entitlement spending crisis. We have an energy crisis. We have an immigration crisis. We have a national security crisis. And most of all, we have a deficiency of leadership crisis in the White House. You see, real leaders fix stuff, not make stuff worse. Real leaders solve problems, not create more problems. Real leaders will respect the will of the American people instead of ignoring the will of the American people. And so it is time for us to get some common sense solutions back into the White House. One of our biggest challenges is the economy. We need some direct stimuli, not more indirect, ineffective, or failed stimuli. Starting with lower the top corporate tax rate and individual tax rates in this country. We're the only nation in the world that has not lowered it. It does not make any sense. We've got the second highest tax rate in the world, only behind Japan. And over the last 15 years, we're the only country that has not lowered those top corporate tax rates. Because every time the conservatives talk about lowering tax rates for corporations or lowering tax rates for individuals, the liberals crawl out of the corner and start yelling, but you're going to reward rich people and hurt old people, children, and puppy dogs. It's time to tell the American people the truth. Lower taxes is good for our economy. And we don't have any intention of hurting old people, children, and puppy dogs. Scare tactics is all they have to work with. All you have to do is look back in history. Lower tax rates worked in the 20s to make this economy strong. Lower tax rates worked in the 60s when John F. Kennedy was able to get them passed in order to jumpstart this economy. They worked in the 80s. They can work again in 2013 if you elect the right person president in 2012. I'm not afraid to say it because I believe that if the American people understand it, they will support it. Secondly, take capital gains tax rates to zero in order to stimulate some cash for small businesses. Zero. Whenever I share that idea with a liberal, they look at me like they don't understand the meaning of zero. And I ask, is it the Z-E-R or O? Don't you understand? That's the only way we're going to generate some more cash for small businesses, entrepreneurs in this country. Number three, take tax on repatriated profits to zero. Suspend it. Allow foreign profits to come back home. Because right now they get double tax. Number four, let's give the American worker and the American employer a real payroll tax holiday, 6.2% for every worker for a year, 6.2% relaxation for every employer for a year. That would be a real direct stimulus, not this piddling 2% that they passed last year that nobody could even feel. Let's give every worker in America a raise for a year so they can pay off some bills. And then fifthly, you take those four direct stimulus measures and you wrap a bow around it called make them permanent so we can get rid of the uncertainty in this economy. Make them permanent in order to jumpstart this economy. One of the frustrating things, as many of you all know, is that our economy has the potential to grow a lot more than it is growing. And as long as we do not stimulate this economy the right way, we not only continue to face this economic crisis, but it also becomes a national security crisis. Because you see, if we do not grow faster than this anemic 2.5% that we've been growing, versus the 10% growth that China is growing compounded per year, economists have already calculated that within 15 to 20 years, on an absolute basis, their GDP growth will be as big as ours. The International Monetary Fund did another analysis where they took out the difference in exchange rates, calculated purchase power parity, and based upon leveling the playing field by taking out the exchange rates, it says that China will be big as us in 5 years. Let me tell you something. Being number two economically or militarily is not in our DNA. Not in our DNA. this economy has an absolutely higher priority than many people realize. But we can do it with those. That's phase one. That's just phase one of my economic plan. The reason that I identified those is such that we could get that passed quickly, because we can't continue to just muddle along at this low economic growth rate. That's phase one. And then phase two, once you send me to the White House, after we educate the public, replace the entire code with the fair tax. Supercharge the economy. Phase one, phase two. Phase one, phase two. Let me tell you what'll happen. When we do that, we won't have to look back to see which economy in the world is gaining on us, because once we do those two phases, no country in the world will be able to catch us, and we won't have to look back. I don't have time to go through my ideas on every one of these solutions, but there are a couple of them that I feel compelled to share with you because I consider them to be top critical. You've heard my ideas about the economy and what we have to do to stimulate it. Another one that we need to get serious about is a real energy independence plan, using the resources we have right here in the United States of America. Real here, real now, right now in America. Let me share a common sense idea with you. You know, those of you that know me know that I come at it from a common sense perspective. Here's a common sense idea. The president goes to Brazil and loans them $4 billion and tells them that we are going to be their best customer for the oil that they are going to drill down in Brazil. Consider this idea. Why don't we become our own best customer? Resources right here at home. We've got the resources. We need the leadership to make it happen. Immigration, very quickly. When you hear the terminology comprehensive immigration reform, that's code for they don't know what to do. A problem solver makes sure that he's working on the right problem, that he assigns the right priority, that he surrounds himself with the right people. I've kind of done that in my 40-year business career. And then number four, put together the plans that you execute, plans that the American people can understand. Because one of my guiding principles is when the people understand it, they will not only support it, but they will demand it. Immigration, we've got four problems that we need to work on. Number one, secure the border. Secure the border. Not go to the border and do a photo op and make claims that are not true about safety. One of my other guiding principles all through my career, if you have a problem and you want to solve that problem, go to the source closest to the problem in order to find solution. Why don't they ask the sheriffs on the border of Arizona what the solution is instead of suing Arizona? That's how you solve the problem. I happen to believe that we should empower the states, not sue the states. Allow the states to solve many of their